You are listening to Match Point Canada, and our guest this week, she's a 7-time singles winner on the WTA, a gold medalist in Tokyo in singles, and a silver medalist in doubles. She's also a Billie Jean King Cup champion with her native country of Switzerland. So happy to have back onto the podcast, Belinda Bencic. Belinda, it's so great to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see you. Fantastic to see you back on the court playing and competing again. I have to ask, how rewarding was the time off in 2024, starting a family? And what was it like for you, maybe stepping away from a tennis court for such an extended period of time?
Yeah, it was definitely a very, very nice and enjoyable time. And I still think it's really the best time of our lives, really, with our daughter. And it's been really cool also now to be back on the court playing and competing again. And yeah, I'm really enjoying myself at the moment.
The decision to return to the court, when you're ramping things back up, what aspect is the most challenging? Is it the mental side or the physical side of the game?
Yeah, well, I mean, my comeback has been actually much, much faster than I expected. And I have to say, I really didn't, put myself on a pressure for the timeline, to be able to play then and then. I just, took it by how I feel, body wise, and also, in practice and everything. So I started really slow, just, moving the body again, building up again the muscles, because you lose everything, of course, in such a long time of not playing, not even practicing. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, it was a really fun and challenging process for sure, but now I can feel it's more details to improve. Obviously, the biggest part is the physical part. I feel like tennis is riding a bike. Sometimes you just don't lose it. You know how to play, and when you played for so many years, it gets back fast. But I think it's definitely the physical aspect, moving better on the court and getting a little bit faster, and then also having the stamina to actually play every day a match. So that's why it was important for me to play even some tournaments this season.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, good on you for not putting pressure on yourself, and the results I feel like came really, really quickly for you. Making a finals at the WTA 125 in France, getting that experience again to represent your country at the Billie Jean King Cup. How meaningful was that for you? Obviously, you guys were champions a couple years ago, and just to be back with the squad and with the team representing your nation.
Yeah, it was really cool that, I was able to kind of match the date and be ready to play. It was, first of all, a great experience to be back again with the girls, after some kind of couple of times I was not there with them. But again, to have the whole team spirit and be able to, just be with them was cool. And also, of course, to compete, and especially that it was a home tie, it was very nice. So I'm very happy that I was able to play there.
It's become more common, I think, especially lately now, to see women's players go and start a family and then make that return to pro tennis. Before you made that return, or even currently now, have you had any conversations with fellow players or colleagues who have done the same about, maybe what to expect now that you are a mom and going to face obviously a long season of travel, and it will be different?
Yes, I mean, I didn't actually talk to them before we made the decision, but obviously you can see, a lot of athletes having done the same decision to start a family, and it's been possible. They managed kind of both, and also not only in tennis but also in other sports. So that inspired me a lot, and I think gave us kind of to be more brave about this decision, because for me ultimately it's more important to have a family than to have a extraordinary career with achieving everything. So for me it was a natural step, and I didn't really want to kind of, wait, and then kind of be forced to, retire earlier than I would need to, just because, I want to start a family, and also like obviously as a woman, you have the biological aspect as well. So it was better for us, to do it this way when we are at this point of our lives, and that I can have a baby now and then still have a couple of good years ahead of me in my career. And I feel like those other athletes that already done it, they kind of inspired me a lot with this decision.
Well, I certainly think you have your priorities in order because you're being too modest. You've already had a phenomenal career to this point and more years ahead. Looking into 2025, I mean, you have your protected ranking heading into Australia. And I look back in 2023, you were playing such amazing tennis down under to kind of kick off that year. How comfortable do you find
Sorry,
you
my
are?
lights off.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. How comfortable do you find you are just competing in the Australian summer? And are you setting any type of expectation for yourself kind of in the early stages of the season?
Definitely not in the early stages of the season, because I'm very happy that I'm able to go to Australia and compete. And obviously the protected ranking is helping a lot. And that's why I wanted to play a few tournaments, this season to kind of have everything, also the routine logistically traveling with a baby. Like, how is it, with a baby? How do you sleep? Like, to try everything out before going to Australia. Like, we don't want to, do a new experiment there.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, it's just much better for us this way. And that's why I don't want to set, big expectations. I also don't think I will be at 100% yet in Australia, but I will be close to it. And it's definitely going to help me to get to 100% playing these tournaments and also playing against the top players again. So I hope, then to continue the season, with at my best, and then hopefully, build up my rankings again.
You mentioned, getting a chance to face some of the top players, and I think you're one of the tour's players who, despite you're still young, just 27. You've kind of, in a way, spanned that previous generation, and we're moving into the next. Obviously, you had the experience competing in the era with the Williams sisters, with players like Kerber and Muguruza and Radwanska, and now we look at the current state of the game, and we have players like Arina Sabalenka, who obviously had a phenomenal year, Iga Swiatek, who's been incredible, Qinwen Zhang. What types of challenges do you think the top players in the world pose right now, and how much does that sort of excite you going into a new year?
Yeah, I think it's always every player is very different to play against. And, some players are top players, but you actually like to play against them. And then you have some players that are maybe not ranked as high and you struggle against them. So it's very, very different. And for sure, I'm very lucky to experience kind of both generations. When I was younger, I never thought I would ever be able to play against the Williams sisters. And I actually played them both. So that was really incredible. But I'm also now really excited to play everyone that's top players now. And for me, I feel like at this moment, in the top 100, probably all of the girls are serving really good. And it's like the game has evolved in a way that there's more power and the rallies are less. And it's more really, the speed of the game has just been up. So, and I also feel like everyone is physically much more fit. So yeah, that's something that I don't have to adapt to it, because I was also playing all the years with them. So I feel like you naturally adapt to it, and you just, feel like, okay, you're playing against this player, so this is what I have to do. So that's how you kind of learn it and how you manage to then evolve your game in a way as well.
I thought it was really cool. Actually, the last time, you might not remember, but the last time we spoke was right before you played Serena Williams in Toronto, one of her final tournaments of her career. How cool was that, at least getting to play her, one more time before she did hang up the racket?
Yeah, it was really cool, actually. And it's funny, before the tournament, I just seen the story of her. I think it was in Vogue,
Yeah.
of her retiring her career. And then I think the draw came out, and I was able to play her, I think, in the early rounds of Toronto, which was incredible because the atmosphere was great. Like the people, of course, I absolutely love her, and I enjoyed playing her a lot. And then, yeah, I just feel honored that I was able to. Like, I think I'm going to, tell my kids about it.
Yeah.
When they will be able to speak and hear.
Absolutely. And, I think Canada for you, I assume holds a bit of a special place in your heart. It was one of your biggest titles when you first came on the scene. I think I speak for Canadian fans when we say we would love to have you back in the summer. Is that a target tournament for you in the upcoming year to get a chance to play, hopefully?
Yes, for sure. I mean, absolutely, it's a goal to play again in Canada, and of course, I mean, it's a 1,000 event, so it's really kind of logical to play there. And
Yeah.
with my protected ranking, it kind of allows me to play most of the tournaments and almost like a full season. So I'll definitely be there.
You have a cool backstory, I think, behind your tennis. Learning from the coach of Martina Hingis in your development. I'm always interested in where professional players maybe developed their game style or a certain shot. And you have, for my money, I think one of the best two-handed backhands the women's game has ever seen. Was that a shot that it always came natural to you? Was it something through coaching that just it clicked, or was that sort of like, has that always just been in your back pocket?
I honestly also think about it a lot. Well, I think first of all, I think Martina had a great backhand that was so like effortless and natural. And I feel like because we were maybe taught a very similar technique, then maybe it kind of comes natural. And also I remember that we were practicing a lot the backhand. And also for me, yeah, it feels very natural. Like doesn't matter the surface or the ball or the condition, I always kind of feel on the game with my backhand, and it's really also in my part it's my biggest strength. And yeah, I don't know exactly why. I'm still kind of figuring that out, but maybe I don't even need to figure it out and just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I was hoping you could reveal the secret because my two-hander needs so much work, but I'll let you keep that one to yourself.
But have you always noticed how maybe probably in the women's game, like most of the WTA players,
Yes.
the backhand is the stronger shot compared to the forehand. But then with the guys, like with the ATP, I feel like most of the guys stronger with the forehand and struggle a little bit with the backhand. So I don't know why that is.
Do you have a theory behind that?
To think about.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It does seem like the women's players have more natural backhands for sure. But before we wrap up here, the last time I spoke with you, we finished with fun rapid fire questions. I have a different fun challenge for you. This has been pretty trendy over the past few years, and I'm going to see how you do. I'd like us to try and build the perfect women's player, past or present. You can feel free to slot yourself in there whenever you wish.
But only woman.
Just women's players in this case. Okay. Yeah. So we'll start. We'll start with the forehand. Who would you take?
Serena Williams.
That's a good choice. Backhand.
My backhand.
Good. Okay. I was hoping you would select yourself. Serve.
Lindsay Davenport.
Good choice. Volley.
Martina Hingis.
Speed.
Iga Swiatek.
Yeah. Fitness.
I mean, fitness, like what? Like stamina, like playing three setters? Or...
Yeah, sure. Maybe fitness, endurance, that kind of thing.
I take myself.
Nice. And last one, mental strength.
Sharapova.
Very, very good choice. Belinda, it's so fantastic to chat with you again. It's great to see you back on the circuit, and we're wishing you a very successful 2025. Thanks so much again for coming on to Matchpoint Canada.
Thank you very much also.